Folks, welcome aboard the AM News on the AM Show. Starting with, an ACCRA High Court has given an all clear for the Electoral Commission to continue with the planned rerun of elections at 19 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency. The parliamentary candidate who filed that case on Monday was in court yesterday with another lawsuit asking the court to place an injunction on the planned rerun and compel the EC to, for the second time, to not only go back and finish the collation, but also respect the court's own directive of January 4th, 2025. But the court, presided over by Justice Ali Baba Bature, disagreed and dismissed the case. Legal Affairs correspondent Kwekwa Asante has the details.
Monday, they did file a substantive action in court, but followed up specifically with an injunction application seeking to stop the election from going ahead on Friday. The injunction application was heard this morning. The Electoral Commission and other parties were all represented. The NPP did make their case in court before Justice Abature. They say that the EC have no locus to order a rerun in 19 polling stations, for which reason they wanted the court to stop that. The court listened to the arguments and found that there was no merit in that case and that the EC should not be stopped from going ahead with organizing the rerun on Friday. So the EC now giving a clean bill of health, the green light to go ahead on Friday to rerun the election in Ablekuma North so that we can get a member of parliament from that constituency.
The election rerun is on for Friday. Now, in other stories, a co-sponsor of a new anti-LGBTQ+ bill, Rev Ntim Fordjour, is alleging a scheme by some persons at the presidency to frustrate the processing of the bill in Parliament. Parliament in 2024 passed an anti-LGBTQ bill, some activists described as a draconian bill, but it died a stillbirth after it was rocked with litigations, which were not resolved before the 8th Parliament expired. Rev Ntim Fordjour and some MPs are attempting to resurrect the bill in Parliament in this 9th Parliament. The bill is yet to be gazetted and introduced in Parliament.
A group of 9 friends, 10 sponsors of Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, Private Members Bill 2025, we have submitted the same bill that President Mahama so desired that Ghanaians looked forward to its assenting, but wasn't assented to. We have submitted it to Parliament, and the Speaker of Parliament has approved it for 4 months. For 4 good months, Speaker of Parliament has approved it. It still remains in Parliament. Just a letter to be put on it and transmitted for gazetting, an exercise that would take just about an hour to do. 4 months hasn't been done. Clearly, some unseen hands from Jubilee House are hampering the progress of the bill. We will speak up. We are giving them 1 week. After 1 week, if we don't see the bill going for gazetting, we'll begin to expose some people. We'll begin to expose some people who are succumbing to the whims and caprices of the Jubilee House, which are inimical to the progress of this bill. And the double standards of such persons will be exposed.
Rev Ntim Fordjour also described as shameful the recent abstention by Ghana during the United Nations Human Rights Council, the vote to renew the mandate of the independent experts on protection against violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity.
Ghanaians are extremely disappointed in President Mahama, Foreign Minister Kujeto Ablakwa, for going to deceive the entire country, misrepresenting them at the United Nations Human Rights Council. When a crucial decision on LGBT was taken, the president and his foreign minister with their delegation veered from the traditional position of this country, which is known, which overwhelming majority of our people have taken on LGBT, finding it and considering it as abhorrent, repugnant of our values, of our norms, our tradition and beliefs. They go to the United Nations Human Rights Council at Geneva, and in voting on LGBT matters in respect of the renewal of the mandate of the independent experts on the promotion of LGBT rights, they go and say we are abstaining. You see, the dangerous thing about abstaining is that it's not an important matter to you. You are indicating to the international community that, one, the matter is not important to you, or the matter is one that you are shying away from, expressing, some cowardice, expressing some form of fear extreme fear because you don't want to offend any big player. You don't want to offend any country. You don't want to offend any group of people who are big sponsors of LGBT, who are big financiers of political campaigns, who are big financiers of economic, pursuits, and who are big, top-ups of financing, budget deficits. You don't want to offend them. Perhaps you took money from them and campaigned and won.
Now, pregnant women and residents of Senua, a rural community in the Ahafo region, will no longer have to endure the stress of traveling several kilometers on a deplorable road to Gauso and Esumura to access healthcare. This follows the commissioning of a well-furnished modern maternity block by the community's chief, Nana Ajimandua Ketechie III, to improve maternal and child health. Our Ahafo regional correspondent, Emmanuel Edujemfi, has more.
Yes, pregnant women in Senua and nearby communities have faced the challenge of walking or traveling long distances to the nearest health facility, risking their lives and that of their unborn babies. But a new dawn is here. The chief of Senua, Nana Ajimandua Ketechie III, with support from his sub-chiefs based in the United States of America, has commissioned a fully furnished maternity block to bring essential healthcare right to the doorstep of his people. Healthcare workers say the facility will also reduce maternal and infant mortality and encourage regular antenatal visits. Dr. Carmen Ward Sullivan of the Samuel Merritt Nursing University in California is also the development queen mother of Senua.
It is a place where mothers will be cared for with dignity and where future generations will be welcomed into this world in safety and in love. It brings us unspeakable joy to contribute to such a space that will nurture life, hope, and health right here in Senua. We thank you for allowing us to celebrate this moment with all of you.
Nana Ajimandua Ketechie III, the chief of Senua, is urging healthcare workers to ensure proper maintenance of the facility.
Sabayin poye bibia anase ankonkra bi fo mo efato mo so e bibi di makro na ya ye di djuma wo sa edan ni mu no edu ba bia ye ma edan ni mu asiesie no enwu hia yen ye begai ne dan na ye den asei efuse enye sika ene ye de ye na minim se ye nuanu mo wa de abra ye bebie dan no de ama omo di mu djuma no omo hwe ma sa ne ma ne ye den enkoso because edan ye dan a edama kuma so.
Charity Gardner is the Ahafo regional minister.
Health insurance your community. Now, what I may be many health insurance director and a buyer. And if you are starting you may the machine and basic community will be our only insurance register so they are almost to me.
The people of Senua are hopeful that this new maternity block will not only improve access to healthcare, but also help build a healthier future for mothers and babies in the area. Reporting from Senua in the Ahafo region for Joy News, Emmanuel Edujemfi.
So from the Ahafo region, let me take you to the Western region now, where a bold step is being taken to revive one of Ghana's endangered indigenous languages, the Ahanta language renaissance, championed by the Member of Parliament for Ahanta West, Mavis Kukwabisi-Boateng. And she's reigniting interest in the Ahanta language through the inculcating of the language in their educational curriculum. Inathalia Kwanza brings us more details.
In a time when many of Ghana's indigenous language face the risk of extinction, a powerful movement is gaining grounds in the Western region, the Ahanta language renaissance, spearheaded by the Member of Parliament for Ahanta West, Mavis Kukwabisi-Boateng. The campaign seeks to revive, preserve, and celebrate the Ahanta language, a dialect deeply rooted in the culture and history of the Ahanta people.
I believed then, as I believe now, that language is more than just words. It is the soul of a people, the keeper of our history, and the vessel of our future. As a result of these combined efforts, I am pleased to announce that the Ahanta West Municipal Education Directorate has identified teachers with an Ahanta background who have been trained for the pilot phase of the language program. 20 schools across the municipality have been selected, and the piloting of the Ahanta language curriculum is currently underway. A dream turning into reality before our very eyes. For generations, the Ahanta language has served as a medium of identity, oral tradition, governance, and spiritual life for our people. It is the thread that binds our past to our present and must not be lost.
The MP leading the charge says the goal is to restore the Ahanta identity by returning the language to households, schools, and public spaces. The initiative has earned support from the Western Regional Minister.
If other Ghanaian languages are being taught and examined in schools across the country, there's no reason why Ahanta should be left behind. Indeed, this renaissance must extend to the development of readers, teaching manuals, training of teachers, and integration into the national curriculum. As Regional Minister, I reaffirm my unflinching commitment to this cause. Our administration recognizes the critical link between language preservation and inclusive development.
Residents of Ahanta West say the project has rekindled their pride and a sense of belonging, and they are hopeful that future generations will grow up fluent in their ancestral tongue.
And I think it is good. It is not that all Ghanaians should speak the Ahanta language. Ahanta for the Ahantans. Ahanta should be spoken and taught in schools for the children who are on Ahanta land and who are Ahantas to be able to express themselves very well. When it comes to the formal English language, we go higher, we are able to speak. In fact,
in Athalia Kwanzaa, Joy News, Ahanta West.
To the Central Region now, where the Metropolitan Chief Executive of Cape Coast, Judge Justice Arthur, has reaffirmed his commitment to transform Cape Coast into the cleanest city in Ghana. In line with his 8-year development plan, the MCE collaborated with the Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly to spearhead a large-scale cleanup exercise in the city. And according to the MCE, the Assembly's intention is to intensify public education on sanitation and ensure residents are well equipped to sustain a cleaner environment. Abigail Esel Nkrumah has more.
During the cleanup exercise organized by the Cape Coast MCE, Judge Justice Arthur, and the Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly, the MCE indicated plans to make the exercise a monthly activity.
All of a sudden, we need to apply strict laws. We are going to make sure we continually do it. We will do this exercise as soon as practicable, and we will make sure that we abide by President's directives. Every month, beginning of every month, we are going to make sure we embark on massive cleanup exercise. Now we want to have another strategy. We just want to bring all the citizenry at a particular place, 2 or 3 places. Then we concentrate over there to make sure we do due diligence to that particular area. Then we move to another place next time. So by so doing, our quest to make sure that Cape Coast becomes the cleanest city in the whole country, it will be achieved.
He also agreed with government's directive to allow metropolitan and municipal assemblies to oversee their own sanitation.
I am very happy, and again, I agree with the government that all money should get to the assembly so that the assembly will put the money into effective utilization, especially with respect to the sanitation and the cleanup exercise. And that is what we are going to do. And we will make sure that we provide the essential expectation, what the people need to make sure they also clean their surroundings. We get ample, we get enough for them. The challenge is that we couldn't get enough tools for the people. You could see that the people are willing, they are zealous to work, but the tools there are woefully inadequate. And so next time we need to provide and procure more of these tools so that you have effective cleanup exercise.
Some residents of Cape Coast called for the reintroduction of town councils. From Cape Coast, Abigail Lissel Nkoma reports for Joy News.
Let's get some updates on the National Science and Maths quiz, and the heat was real and the stakes even higher at the SGS auditorium on UCC campus as 3 schools sealed their spots in the Central Regional Championship of the National Science and Maths quiz. From Jama chants to nail-biting scores, it was a day of fierce contest, big upsets, and high emotions. My colleague Adobe Asari has a wrap.
The SGS auditorium on UCC campus wasn't just full, it was hot and explosive. St. Augustine's boys came in with a lot of energy, singing Jama songs even before the contest began. They were in a comfortable lead from round 1 to the final round, ending with 65 points, beating Infantiman Girls, Nyakrum SHTS, Hope College, and Obriya Senior High.
We saw it coming, and the feeling is normal because it's into Augustine's College.
They should expect the unexpected because, well, the unexpected is expected. We are going to take it.
The most anticipated contest of the day was the second contest, which had both the reigning regional champions at Disadel College and reigning national champions, the Infantiman School. Before the start of the contest, the auditorium was filled with a blend of Jama songs from both schools at the same time. After 4 intense rounds, Botwe emerged winner, denying Adisco a 4th straight regional championship title. In the final round of the day, University Practice SHS beat Mankesim, Winneba, Ghana National College, and Senior SHS, winning with 38 points. With the last spot to be secured today and the final contest happening on the same, the big question remains, who will be crowned the Central Regional Champion? For Joy News, I am Adobe Asari.
Well, on that note, Samuel Kojo Brace is standing by to serve you business updates.
So, Sweetie forgot to add that Samuel Kojo Brace of Badubonso Senior High School. When we get to the NSMQ platform, we will show the world who we are. But let's do business now. Let's start from the currency markets. Well, away from that, the match talked about IMF cash of $367 million has finally hit Bank of Ghana's account. Joy Business understand that the funds came in yesterday. We have more in this report.
The amount, although marginal, may still go a long way to improve the Bank of Ghana's reserves. The April data released by the central bank showed that the country's international reserves was about $10.6 billion, representing 4.3 months of import cover. However, President John Mahama, at a recent engagement with members of the Council of State, revealed that Bank of Ghana's international reserves may have reached 6 months of import cover. For some, this could also help in stabilizing the cedi, as this may help in dealing with fears that the local currency's current performance is not sustainable. For the Finance Ministry, this may provide some fresh cash to finance some projects identified in the 2025 budget. This is because the Bank of Ghana will take the dollars and give the cedi equivalent to the Finance Minister, Dr. Atuforsen, to finance those critical projects in the budget.
However, from that, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Professional Studies, ACCRA, Professor John Kweku Mauto, is urging the insurance industry to uphold strict professionalism and ethical standards. Speaking at the 2025 induction ceremony of the Chartered Institute of Insurance, Ghana, he said restoring public trust depends on strong ethical leadership and accountability. He called on the institute to lead reforms that ensure credibility across the sector.
Speaking at the 2025 Chartered Insurance Institute of Ghana induction ceremony, Professor Mauto stressed the urgent need for the insurance industry to commit to higher ethical standards. He said the credibility and trustworthiness of the sector depends on strict adherence to professionalism.
The theme for this year's induction, Insurance for Ghana's Prosperity, redefining standards and building confidence, is both timely and profound. In any thriving economy, insurance plays a pivotal role.
Vice President of the Institute, Yvonne Osei-Ado, pledged to restore discipline and confidence in the sector.
We need a resilient financial ecosystem, okay? And then insurance is part of it. Insurance is one of the vital features. But then before insurance can be a potential to building a resilient ecosystem, we need to address a few issues concerning transparency, professionalism, and then the trust we have in the industry.
Let's wrap up the business update with what is happening on the commodities markets. And that's it for the business updates, and as well as the AM news. Up next on the show is AM Sports.